excited to announce that we're taking the Pheno hunt global. We've been, hunting in California, in Oklahoma, Michigan, Florida for the past few years, and this year we're really excited to branch out overseas. So, right now we're in Antigua. We had an amazing Pheno hunt lined up here to go check out some Rastafari and Sacramento grows, where we've been developing a genetic specifically for the growing conditions of the Caribbean. Try to help with the sustainability aspect of growing here and just simplifying the need of the genetics to thrive in an environment like this.
Caribbean Queen.
This is the Caribbean Queen here?
Yeah, the whole field.
The whole field, bro.
Yes. It looks pretty uniform, the genetics seem to be homozygous, and the expression, the density, the frost appeal is there. Looks great too,
Bro.
Yeah.
It's like we're not trying to superimpose genetics that we do well in California. So we're like, oh, you guys should grow, blueberry muffin or all gas OG, which is great and people should definitely grow it. But actually coming to a space, trying to learn about the constraints of a space and a situation, and then bring the proper genetics that would apply best, that we think would actually thrive in this place. So not kind of superimposing our beliefs or our ideals on it, but actually just listening to the plant and listening to the people that are working with the plant and just trying to do the best we can. And I think it really shines in this field, which is super low key up in the bushes of Antigua.
So here's the story of bringing ancient genetics back home and Pheno hunting for a better future in Antigua and Barbuda.
It's like a call to bring everybody together.
The smoke, the flavor is nice,
The regular people can't reach to them.
Good morning, guys. So we got in super late last night to Antigua, Barbuda, where we're gonna kick off the 2024 Pheno hunt. Kind of had a random happenstance come up with our friend Dr. Michel Emmanuel from the University of the West Indies. And so we took a trip down here. We're gonna be checking out some of this pure sativa line that we've been working on for years, being grown by these Rastafarian farmers up in the hills here in Antigua. Beautiful country, super stoked to be here. The people have been amazingly nice and hospitable, and the food is amazing. All from Michel, he was like, man, come down and check out this farm where we got, the pure sativa, and we're gonna be checking out this Rasta grow that is fully legal here in Antigua as of 2018, where they decriminalized cannabis for everyone and actually legalized cannabis cultivation for the Rastafari Church. So we're gonna be going up into the bush. Hopefully we have not too rough of a road getting up there. I don't think anyone really knows where the farm is at the moment, so it's gonna be an interesting ride.
The plan was to meet up with Dr. Michel Emmanuel and get the history of the cannabis in the Caribbean.
All right, testing. 1, 2, 3. Right, so a cannabis, ganja, is a culture. So ganja is more than just a plant. It's a culture, it's a way of life. It's an expression of a people. Ganja cannabis wasn't something that was really popularized, although I always had the notion that ganja cannabis was in the Caribbean before the arrival of the indentured laborers. So I went to Kew Gardens some years ago and asked to look at the herbarium samples that were actually collected from Jamaica. And there were 2 samples that stood out from 1809 and 1822. So emancipation took place in 1845, where post that the indentured laborers came. But we saw a remarkable difference based on the morphological characteristics of the cannabis samples that were there post emancipation via prior. So prior, the thought is that these plants were pretty much hemp, because the Spaniards introduced hemp to the Caribbean region in the 1600s for purpose of fiber to assist with repairing their sail ships, so on, via those long voyages. However, it was never something that really took root. So it was said the cannabis that the Spaniards brought, the hemp particularly, came from Eastern Europe, particularly Eurasia, you know. But fast forward, after the indentured laborers came, after close examination of these, you know, herbarium samples, we saw the presence of, you know, trichome glands, which definitely support that this plant now, the usage has slightly changed based on being a sort of therapeutic, medicinal, psychoactive plant that was used for those, you know, purposes, which it pretty much matches what the Asian culture and the Sadhus would have used cannabis for and would have brought it to this region to be able to practice their like cultural freedom. And we can definitely see that infusion based on the names being used, but it's important to note that in Asia, cannabis is not really used with water as a filtration mechanism. That's an African tradition that was documented in Ethiopia some like time